the infinite loop, the never-ending cycle, such as rebirth. And human sacrifices. But that's not the point.
Wait, I was supposed to be giving out human sacrifices this whole time?
Blood sacrifices, human sacrifices. What is the term? What is it? Was it tomato potato? What? Uh,
Uh, are you good, bro?
ignore him. Jester is much more interested in our current conversation. Not much Jest can say about father, other than, well, of course, you were wrong. You were wrong. But of course, that is a conversation for a different time.
Interesting. Well, the only other gods that were ever mentioned in this book were of light and shadow.
Light and shadow. Yes, of course. It was mother, father, light and shadow, and it was plants. No, not plants actually. Plants was not. Leaves and vines was not. It was light and shadow, moon and sun, and anarchy. Light and shadow. Oh, goodness. Ah, shadow. Shadrathka. That is the name of the poor soul.
Poor soul.
Ooh. Oh goodness, Shadrathka. Jess was not prepared to speak of Shadrathka. You may want to sit. Shadrathka is, well, all but dead at this point. Union, known now as Carnage, in his pitiful, honestly, attempt to take over the entire world, convinced and corrupted Shadrathka, god of shadow, and now his beasts and his followers run wild, not really remembering their purpose, their creator, or even the common decency that they once knew, acting as ravenous wolves within the old Shadow Palace.
You said he was dead?
He is all but dead. He might as well be dead. His brain has rotten out of his skull. He simply sits by himself and mumbles half forgotten memories to himself, dreaming sounds that sound like an out of tune piano. It is a sad sight to behold, seeing as he was such a kind man. He was such a kind man, and there were many that loved him.
I thought such suffering was only reserved for mortals.
Oh goodness, no. Mortals, they have it easy. Mortals, they endure plenty of trauma, yes, but it eventually ends whenever they die and are reborn anew with fresh memories. Gods, well, gods and immortal beings, they get to be traumatized and traumatized over and over again with no real end and simply need to cope. Immortality is not a blessing, it is a curse.
Well, I knew that was the case, but I believe it was only for mortals. After all, the gods are powerful, aren't they? I always believed they could just.
Well, they're powerful, but does not mean that other gods. Shadrathka was corrupted by another god, and Carnage actually corrupted himself. He was previously Union, the god of unity, and now he is Carnage, the god that wants to take over the entire world and is kept at bay, actually. kept at bay by the god of light. The goddess of light, Susan, which is quite an interesting name for a god, but it is actually a theme that many gods change their names to things that are normal, like um the old god of leaves and vines changed his name to Brian. Yes. Um but then there are gods like Keith and Susan who were just given those names at creation and never disputed it. But Susan, god of light, goddess of light, well, she is not the goddess of light in such that she creates light. There are many gods like the gods of sun and fire that end up being something that ends up creating light, but she is simply known as the god of light because, well, she is very powerful god, very loving, forgiving person. She's a very nice young lady. Jester definitely has seen her work and definitely appreciates that she has managed to help Winora subdue Carnage and Shadrathka and all of Carnage's lackeys in the void. She truly has compassion for all living things, including Carnage and Carnage's lackeys, which is likely the only reason why Carnage is alive. Living beings deserve respect, is what Susan would always say, and, well, gods, they may not die, but that does not mean they are not alive. Just as rambling. Oh, goodness gracious.
You're fine. Do not worry.
Well,
Well,
do you have anything else?
well, there's one god who's barely mentioned in this book. That actually, some of the pages seem to have been torn out. It, can I
The
help you?
pages have been torn out?
And there he goes.
Pages have been torn out?
It looks that way. It Can I help you? Do you want to read the message Silver just sent over?
The cheese gods require just to give cheese. The cheese gods require just to give ches to silver.
Just who are the cheese gods? Can you tell me about the cheese gods?
Silver, just should likely have assumed, but just doesn't think that Silver knows how to read or write.
I stole his minecart.
At least not well. Anyway,
There
what
you
were you saying?
Yes. A lot of the pages at the end look like they were torn out, but on the very end of the page before that mentions a god of anarchy. Do you know anything about that one?
Oh, right. Yes, Just knows of that book. Just should have known this question was coming. Just should have known this question was coming. Just should have known, should have known, should have known. Get out of here! Get out! Get out!
Are
The ancient god of anarchy, you say?
you okay?
Oh, Jest is fantastic. Tell, Jest, pray tell. What does it say?
I mean, it's only a mention. I believe it used to say more, but the pages are ripped out.
Interesting! Ah, yes, quite lovely, quite lovely. Quite, lovely indeed. Love.
I don't know who would have done it, but
You don't know who would have done it?
I mean,
You don't know who would have done it?
I mean, they're probably dead, but that narrows it to 5 people.
You don't know who would have done it? Ah! truly tickle Jest at the moment. Oh, goodness, the ancient god of anarchy. What a class act. Not the god, not the god. This the mention. Quite brief. Quite brief. Quite conveniently brief. In Jest's case, it is quite specific. Well, the ancient god of anarchy is, well, a person who, well, dislikes government. And that 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 includes the government that the gods put in themselves in order to, have a power ranking between gods. Even though the power ranking is the absolute worst efficient way of doing things because it's just it's not based on responsibility, it's based on who can beat each other in a fight. That is not how that's not how it should work. That's not how it should work.
Are you
Look
okay?
at Jest in the eyes and tell me that power is based simply upon magic level. Tell me that tell me that the highest level should have the least responsibility. Tell Jess that there are people out there who give the absolute lowest tier the most amount of work simply because they cannot protect themselves from doing it. And Jess will show you. Jess will show you a heretic. I'm carried away with myself here. What time is it? Oh, goodness. Just is in no mood to deal with silver. And whatever in the world this is at the moment. Tell me, Valora. Well, actually, no. Jester will tell you. Jester will tell you that you will not forsake thee.